Sometimes in life, the loudest voice in the room isn't the one that carries the most weight. The truth is, silence has a power that noise can never match. When you learn to stay silent, when you learn to hold back your words and let patience do the talking, life begins to unfold in ways you could never force. See, most people rush. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to prove themselves in every conversation, every battle, every room they walk into. But the ones who truly rise, the ones who are respected, they don't have to announce themselves. Their silence speaks louder than words. Their discipline commands the room before they even open their mouth. Silence is power, yet most people underestimate it because they confuse silence with weakness. They think if you are not speaking, you are not strong. If you are not loud, you are not confident. But the reality is, silence often carries more weight than words ever could. It is a discipline, a strength, a weapon that cannot be easily matched. When you choose silence, you are not giving up your voice, you are controlling it. You are not surrendering your power, you are preserving it for the right time, the right moment, and the right impact. Think about the moments when silence has said more than words ever could. In conflict, silence can dissolve chaos. In pressure, silence can create calm. In moments of doubt, silence can give clarity. There is a kind of strength in holding back, in refusing to react to every insult, every opinion, every test that comes your way. People who rush to speak often reveal their weakness, their insecurity, their need for validation. But the one who can stay silent, the one who can hold their ground without needing to argue, that person has already won. Silence is not the absence of power, it is the presence of control. Anyone can raise their voice, but not everyone can hold their tongue. Anyone can fill the air with words, but not everyone can allow space for reflection. Power lies in knowing that you do not have to prove yourself with noise. Your presence, your discipline, your actions will do the talking for you. That is why silence is respected, because it shows you are not desperate to be understood. You are confident enough to let time, truth, and results reveal everything. When you embrace silence, you begin to see things differently. You begin to notice details that others miss. You begin to hear what people are really saying beneath their words, and you begin to understand the rhythm of life itself. Silence sharpens your awareness, and awareness sharpens your decisions. When you are silent, you are listening not just to others, but to yourself. You give your mind room to think, to process, to align with your purpose. This is where wisdom comes from, not from speaking endlessly, but from learning deeply. Silence is also a form of discipline. It takes strength to remain quiet when anger tempts you to speak. It takes maturity to remain calm when pride urges you to prove your point. And it takes faith to remain patient when fear is pushing you to act too soon. Silence is where character is tested because it demands control, restraint, and trust. If you can master silence, you can master yourself. And if you can master yourself, then there is nothing in this world you cannot overcome. Life has a way of rewarding those who understand the power of silence. Opportunities flow toward those who work quietly, who prepare in silence, who do not need to broadcast their every move. Success comes to those who are willing to plant seeds in silence and let time reveal the harvest. Silence allows you to build without distraction, to grow without interference, to rise without anyone realizing it until you have already arrived. That is the true essence of power, when your results speak so loudly that words are unnecessary. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it is the presence of focus. It is the space where thoughts become strategies, where struggles become lessons, where faith becomes strength. In silence, you are not ignoring life, you are aligning with it. You are allowing things to come naturally, without force, without desperation. Silence is not about doing nothing. It is about preparing for everything. The greatest storms are often followed by silence. The loudest explosions are followed by stillness. Nature itself reminds us that silence is not weakness, but a reset, a rebirth, a preparation for the next movement of life. The same is true for you. When you embrace silence, you are not falling behind, you are gathering strength. You are not giving up, you are getting ready. And when the time comes, when the moment arrives, your silence will transform into action so powerful that the world will have no choice but to listen. Would you like me to expand the same way on the other 4 key points? Silence sharpens awareness, actions speak louder, patience attracts opportunities, silence builds character, so you have a full series. Silence sharpens awareness because it removes the clutter that blinds us from seeing clearly. In a world full of constant noise, distractions, and endless opinions, silence becomes a rare treasure. Most people are too busy talking, arguing, or trying to prove themselves to actually notice what is happening around them. But when you choose silence, When you step back from the noise and allow yourself to listen, something powerful happens. You begin to see life in ways you could never see before. Awareness is born in stillness. When you are silent, you are not rushing to answer, not rushing to defend, not rushing to impress. You are simply observing. You notice the tone behind people's words, the truth behind their actions, and the patterns that reveal who they really are. You begin to catch the small details, the look in someone's eyes, the hesitation in their voice, the inconsistency in their stories. Silence gives you the space to truly listen, not just to words, but to intent. And when you can hear intent, you can see reality more clearly than those who are blinded by noise. Silence also sharpens your awareness of yourself. In the quiet, you face your own thoughts, your fears, your desires, your ambitions. Many avoid silence because they are afraid of what they might discover about themselves. But if you are brave enough to embrace it, silence becomes the place where self-awareness grows. You start to understand why you react the way you do, why certain things bother you, why certain dreams burn inside of you. In silence, you meet yourself honestly. That awareness is the foundation of growth, because you cannot change what you refuse to see. Life's opportunities are often hidden in the small things, and only those who are aware can see them. The silent observer is always one step ahead, because while others are distracted by noise, they are studying, preparing, and positioning themselves for the right moment. Silence teaches patience, and patience creates vision. The one who listens more sees more, and the one who sees more knows when to move, when to wait, and when to act with precision. That is the power of awareness sharpened by silence. When you practice silence, you begin to notice the lessons hidden in everyday life. A setback is no longer just a problem. It becomes a teacher. A failure is no longer just pain. It becomes insight. Even the silence of nature, the stillness of a morning, the quiet of a night sky, all carry messages if you are aware enough to receive them. Silence slows the pace of your mind, allowing wisdom to settle in. It creates clarity in confusion, calm in chaos, and guidance when you feel lost. Silence sharpens awareness in relationships too. When you stop talking so much and start observing, you begin to understand people on a deeper level. You recognize who truly supports you and who only pretends. You see who is genuine and who is using you. You notice who claps for you when you succeed and who stays silent when they should celebrate with you. Silence helps you separate loyalty from convenience, truth from deception, love from manipulation. Awareness protects you, and silence is the tool that sharpens it. In silence, you also connect with your intuition. That inner voice, that gut feeling, becomes clearer when the noise around you is gone. How many mistakes could be avoided if people trusted that quiet voice inside them? How many paths could be taken with confidence if people actually paused long enough to listen? Silence is not empty, it is full of answers. The problem is, most people are too busy filling the air with words to ever hear them. The power of silence is that it doesn't just keep you aware of others, it keeps you aware of the moment. It pulls you out of the past and away from the future, grounding you in the now. In silence, you notice the beauty of the present moment, the laughter of a child, the rhythm of your breath, the opportunities that exist right in front of you. Awareness allows you to be grateful, and gratitude transforms how you see everything. Those who live in silence are not blind to life, they are awake to it. Their awareness is their strength, and that awareness guides them to make wiser choices, avoid unnecessary battles, and seize the right opportunities at the right time. Noise distracts, but silence sharpens. And when your awareness is sharp, you no longer stumble through life blindly. You walk with vision, with wisdom, and with purpose. Actions speak louder because words are easy. Anyone can promise, anyone can talk about what they will do, anyone can paint a picture with their mouth. But words without action are empty. They may sound good for a moment, but they fade quickly. Action, on the other hand, leaves a mark. It speaks without needing sound, it convinces without needing argument, it proves without needing explanation. Actions are the language of truth, and they are understood everywhere. People are judged by what they do, not by what they say. You can say you are disciplined, but if you are not consistent in your work, your words mean nothing. You can say you care about someone, but if your behavior doesn't reflect it, the words fall flat. You can say you have dreams, but if you are not taking steps toward them, then those dreams are just talk. The world does not believe promises, it believes patterns. It does not believe claims, it believes consistency. Action is what separates intention from reality. When your actions speak, you no longer need to explain yourself to anyone. You do not need to convince people to believe in you. You do not need to argue about your worth or your vision. Your results will settle the debate for you. The greatest people in history did not become great by speeches alone. They became great because their actions backed their words. They showed discipline, sacrifice, and perseverance that could not be denied. Their lives became their loudest message. The reason actions are more powerful than words is because action requires commitment. Talking costs nothing. You can say you want change, but real change comes from the hard work of doing something about it. Action demands effort, consistency, and sacrifice. That is why so few people truly follow through, because it is much easier to talk than it is to do. But those who take action separate themselves instantly. They rise above the noise because their movement proves what others only claim. Actions also reveal character in ways words never can. A person can speak of honesty, but their actions will reveal if they can be trusted. A person can claim humility, but their actions will show if they truly put others first. A person can talk about loyalty, but their behavior in hard times will expose their truth. Words can disguise, but actions expose. And when the mask is removed, only the real remains. Life respects action. Opportunities flow toward those who move, not those who wait for the perfect moment to talk about moving. Doors open for those who knock, not those who stand outside and describe how much they want to go in. Success comes to those who act consistently, even when no one is watching. Silent effort builds loud victories. The hours you spend working quietly will one day shout so loudly that the world cannot ignore you. Actions are not only louder, they are contagious. When you take action, you inspire others more than any speech could. People are motivated when they see someone willing to do what most are only willing to say. Leadership is built not on words, but on example. People follow action, not talk. If you want to influence, if you want to leave a legacy, it will not come from how well you speak, but from how consistently you live your message. Your future is shaped not by what you intend, but by what you do. Every step you take, every choice you make, every habit you repeat is building your tomorrow. Words alone do not build, they only dream. Action is the hammer, the brick, the sweat that constructs your life. If your actions align with your words, you become unstoppable. But if your words remain empty, your life becomes an echo of broken promises. Actions are permanent proof. Long after your words are forgotten, people will remember how you lived, what you stood for, what you built, and how you made them feel. You don't have to announce your greatness. Live it. You don't have to declare your discipline. Show it. You don't have to argue for your worth. Prove it. Actions will always speak for you louder, clearer, and longer than anything you could ever say. Patience attracts opportunities because the best things in life are rarely rushed. In a world where everyone wants everything instantly, patience has become a rare quality, but it is also the very thing that separates those who stumble from those who succeed. Opportunities are like seeds, they do not grow overnight. They need time, nurturing, and space to develop. When you are patient, you allow life to bring you what is meant for you, at the right moment, in the right season. Impatience may cause you to grab at what is easy, but patience positions you to receive what is truly valuable. When you are patient, you make better decisions. Rushed choices are often emotional, reactive, and short-sighted. Patience gives you the ability to step back, to think, and to see the bigger picture. It prevents you from jumping into situations that look good in the moment, but lead to regret later. Opportunities are often hidden, and only patience gives you the vision to wait for them to appear. By slowing down and trusting the process, you see doors that others miss because they are too busy chasing quick results. Patience is not about doing nothing. It is about doing the right things consistently without demanding instant results. The farmer who plants a seed understands this. He does not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. He waters it, nurtures it, and trusts that in time, the harvest will come. In the same way, when you are patient with your goals, your relationships, and your personal growth, you are silently preparing yourself for the opportunities that will arrive. Your patience is not wasted time, it is investment time. Opportunities are drawn to people who are prepared, and preparation takes time. Impatience rushes the process, but patience embraces it. Every delay, every struggle, every test you face while waiting is shaping you into the kind of person who can handle the opportunity when it arrives. Many people lose blessings because they wanted them too soon, before they were ready. But patience ensures that when your moment comes, you will not just step into it, you will thrive in it. Patience also builds resilience. Waiting teaches you how to endure, how to handle disappointment, and how to stay consistent when results are not immediate. This resilience becomes your strength, and strength attracts opportunity because life favors those who refuse to quit. Patience does not mean the absence of action, it means persistence without desperation. You keep moving forward, but you do not try to force what is not yet yours. You trust that what belongs to you will find you if you remain steady. Think about the people who inspire respect. They are not the ones who rushed into success without foundation, but the ones who built slowly, steadily, with patience. Their lives prove that waiting is not weakness, it is wisdom. They show that patience allows doors to open naturally, without manipulation, without shortcuts, without compromise. And because they waited, the opportunities they gained lasted, while rushed opportunities often collapse just as quickly as they appear. Patience also teaches humility. It reminds you that you are not in control of everything, that timing is bigger than your schedule. It keeps you grounded, trusting that the right opportunities will come when you are ready for them. It allows you to focus on growth rather than results, on becoming rather than arriving. And when you focus on becoming, you naturally attract opportunities that match your growth. You don't have to chase them, they come to you because you are prepared. Even in relationships, patience attracts the right people. Rushing into connections out of loneliness often leads to pain. But patience allows you to wait for those who align with your values and your vision. In business, patience allows you to wait for the right deals instead of desperate ones. In personal goals, patience allows you to keep building quietly until the moment comes when the world recognizes your work. Opportunities do not always arrive when you want them, but they always arrive when you are ready. That readiness is built in the waiting. Patience creates trust in the process, endurance in the struggle, and clarity in the journey. It allows you to stop forcing life and start flowing with it. The moment you stop chasing every quick chance and start trusting your timing, the opportunities meant for you begin to appear. Patience is not passive, it is active trust. It is faith in motion. It is the discipline of holding steady, even when the world around you is restless. And in that steadiness, life aligns in your favor. The doors you thought were closed begin to open. The opportunities you thought were gone begin to return. And the blessings you thought were delayed arrive right on time. That is the quiet, undeniable power of patience. It attracts the opportunities that rushing could never give you. Silence builds character because it forces you to confront yourself in ways that noise never can. When you are surrounded by constant chatter, distractions, and opinions, you can escape from facing who you truly are. But when silence surrounds you, there is no hiding. You are left alone with your thoughts, your fears, your flaws, and your strengths. That space is where growth begins. Silence does not make you weaker. It shapes you into someone stronger, someone grounded, someone who can withstand life without breaking. In silence, you learn patience. You discover that not everything needs to happen right now. Not every battle needs a response. Not every insult deserves an answer. It takes strength to hold your tongue when you want to fight back, to remain calm when anger pushes you to react, to wait when everything in you wants to rush. Silence becomes a teacher of restraint, and restraint is one of the greatest signs of maturity. When you can stay still in the face of chaos, when you can remain calm while the world pushes you to react, your character deepens. Silence also teaches humility. Loudness often comes from the desire to be noticed, to prove something, to show others your worth. But true strength doesn't need to be announced. It doesn't demand attention. It earns respect through presence, discipline, and consistency. When you embrace silence, you no longer need validation from everyone around you. You no longer need to prove your value with words. You become confident enough to let your life, your work, and your results speak for themselves. That humility is the foundation of strong character, because it means you are not moved by ego, but by purpose. In the quiet, you also learn self-control. Most mistakes in life happen because of impulsive words spoken in anger or haste. Silence guards you against regret. When you stay silent instead of lashing out, you give yourself time to think, to reflect, to respond with wisdom instead of emotion. That discipline builds a character that is thoughtful, intentional, and wise. People remember not the one who shouted the loudest, but the one who stayed composed when everyone else lost control. Silence builds endurance as well. It strengthens you to endure seasons of waiting, seasons where nothing seems to be happening, seasons where life feels still. Those moments can be frustrating, but they are also transformative. In silence, you learn that progress is not always visible, that growth often happens beneath the surface. Just like roots grow deep before a tree rises high, your character deepens in the silent seasons of life. When the noise fades and nothing seems to move, you are being prepared for greater challenges and greater opportunities. Silence also deepens awareness of others. When you stop talking so much, you start observing more. You notice the struggles people carry, the truths hidden between their words, the sincerity or insincerity of their actions. You become more empathetic, more understanding, more discerning. This awareness shapes your character because it teaches you to connect with people on a deeper level, to respond with compassion, and to choose wisely who you allow into your life. A strong character is not only about personal strength, it is also about how you treat others, and silence sharpens that ability. Another way silence builds character is by strengthening your faith and inner resolve. In silence, you are reminded that not everything is in your control. There are forces, timing, and seasons beyond your reach. Learning to be still, to trust the process, to believe even when you cannot see, requires humility and faith. That quiet trust becomes part of your character, giving you resilience when life tests you and calmness when others panic. Silence grounds you, reminding you that true strength is not in control of everything, but in the discipline to remain steady when you control nothing. The quiet moments are also where vision is born. When the world is loud, your mind is scattered. But when silence comes, clarity arrives. You hear your inner voice more clearly, you see your purpose more fully, and you recognize your values more deeply. Character is built when you live by vision instead of impulse, when you stand by principles instead of emotions. Silence helps you define those principles, giving you a foundation that cannot be shaken by pressure or distraction. Over time, silence shapes you into someone unshakable. Someone who doesn't need to shout to be heard, doesn't need to prove to be respected, doesn't need to rush to be successful. It gives you the kind of character that is steady, disciplined, and rooted. And when storms come, when challenges rise, that character built in silence keeps you standing tall. Because in the end, true greatness is not measured by how loud you are, but by how strong, patient, and wise you have become.